PFF lists their top offensive lines headed into the 2025 season. ESPN released their list for the best wide receiver, running back, and tight end duo. And what does the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade really mean for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Y'all know me and Steve-O got a lot to talk about on today's episode, so lock in, buckle up, and get ready. But you got to hear the music first.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back here to another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. I'm your host, Bobby, joined by Steve-O. What's the word, my boy?
Yo. PFF tweaking. That's what's up.
Hey, you already know. But if y'all tuned in today, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. Steve-O, everybody know. You got to take PFF grades and rankings. How you going to take them? They don't necessarily always mean the most, but they be very, very interesting for sure. Take it with a grain of salt. But they released their top offensive lines entering the 2025 NFL season. And up first, they got the Philadelphia Eagles, followed by the Denver Broncos, Buffalo Bills, the Chicago Bears, and the Indianapolis Colts round out the top five. The Tampa Bay Bucks at 6, Minnesota at 7, Atlanta at 8, the Jets at 9, with the Los Angeles Chargers finishing at 10. How you feeling?
How the fuck they dropped so low?
Who?
The Chargers.
No idea.
Jonah Jackson meant that much?
They said Joe Tooney.
I get it. I mean, the first two Philadelphia Broncos don't disagree with. After that, what was 3? Buffalo Bills agree with.
Chicago Bears at 4.
Too early to tell. I mean, on paper, yeah, they should be within, I would say, the top 5 discussion on paper, but I'm not going to put them in that discussion just because of what I think they're going to do. So I would have put them a little bit outside of the top 5. I would have been more understanding with that. But Indianapolis Colts, they still, I'm not shocked, but it's still some, I feel like they got to prove a little bit more, but I don't see how they jumped the Chargers like that. That's my thing. To me, the Chargers was a top 5 line last year. So, yeah, they lost Jonah Jackson. I think one more person, but they drafted well. I think they drafted another lineman as well, and they always recruit. And they secondary unit with the line wasn't bad as well. So, yeah, to jump from all the way from they was in some discussions in the top 3 conversation last year to jump all the way to what 9 or 10. I don't know about all that, but Tampa Bay about that's about right, 7 or 8 around that area. And then who the other team that I'm missing in that box? It's like 8, 9, and 10.
You missing Minnesota, the Falcons.
I feel like Minnesota should be higher. Minnesota should be higher. Losing Drew Alt was going to take a hit, so the Atlanta being a little lower this year makes a little bit more sense. But I do think Vikings should probably. I will swap spots with the Bears.
Between the Vikings and the Bears?
Yeah, because their line was decent enough last year, and then they beefed it up again.
I think that's fair. Because it's definitely a little bit interesting just to find out like they have this belief in the Chicago Bears at least as an offensive line, because as long as we can remember, it ain't never been no offensive line. Maybe a year or two with Olin Kreutz, a few years with that.
About 3 year stretch.
Yeah,
4 year stretch.
But never really outstanding. And outside of that, it was a bunch of Nate Davis's, Coleman Shelters, and
I mean we had Kyle Long too, but injuries fucked that up too.
Yeah, Kyle Long was a monster for Chicago, but I agree with you. I think that you could definitely swap some places right here. Me, honestly, I didn't necessarily think that the Jets should be ranked at 9, especially with like all the additions that they made, and they already had a good interior. Now you lock up the tackle spot. You would think that you rated a little higher, but Hey, they putting a lot of stake in the additions of Drew Dahlman, Joe Tooney, and Jonah Jackson. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's some big additions for the Chicago Bears. Hopefully, that's something that they can give their quarterback. And I agree with the number 1 and 2. I think those are the best
Yeah.
offensive lines out there, simply because at one point I did not think the Broncos adding my man's Mike McGlinchey. I thought it wasn't gonna be good. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I
Yeah,
ain't
it
think
was like a bang. It was a risk. It was a little bit of a risk involved, but yeah, I think everybody was either all the way on board or was kind of like, it's kind of a risk. But hey, it be like that, especially when it comes with linemen like him.
Yeah, I think that was gonna be different. But I got a question about the New York Jets. What do you think the New York Jets offensive line is gonna bring a quarterback like Justin Fields, who never really had a good offensive line, especially in Chicago?
Um, it's gonna bring way more stability than he had at his previous stop. I should say 2 stops. I should say, but I don't know. Like I'm hearing things and I'm to pay attention to damn, because I ain't been in the draft thing so long. Is it Moonbow? Moonbow?
Yeah,
Uh,
Minbow.
Minbow? Like some of the people were saying, like I don't know if that's the type of left tackle or tackle you want with Justin because like everybody know he's more polished in the run game than the passing game. So I think it has a lot to do who's gonna play that left tackle position, whether it's Olu or him. And based on that production, that's why I feel like them. I wasn't too mad about them being in 9 because we knew they was once again like others. They was a solid line, but with the additions, they still got to prove that they're in the top 5 conversation. Just like us, I can't sit there and say just because based on 3 motherfuckers we add, we top 5, let
For sure.
alone top 10.
For sure. I understand that. Last one before we talk about these wide receiver, running back, and tight end rankings. For the Minnesota Vikings, they got JJ McCarthy. Don't really necessarily know what he's gonna be. I'm looking at that type of situation and saying, like, hey, if all goes wrong, at least he gonna have some time back there to try to figure the shit out. What is your thoughts on that when it comes to JJ McCarthy and his new improved offensive line?
And that's how you bring in that's how you supposed to bring in a rookie or a young QB. You surround him with you want to eliminate all the things that you don't want him to worry about ahead of time, the things that he could just make him more comfortable, speed up his process, relax, and just out there reading and reacting. If he got to sit there and worry about one of his linemen getting blown up, that's just another thing he's gonna have to face. And then you get the throwing ghost and not pulling the trigger, learning how to step it up in the pocket, learning to read the field and not read the line. Like that's when that comes into play. So yeah, it's very important that you get somebody that you don't know exactly what he's gonna do when you put him in that situation, but you're doing everything possible to keep him protected.
Understood, because I definitely think it's gonna be a big thing for him. And I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna say he got the most pressure on him, but it's definitely gonna be some
Decent
pressure
pressure.
on him considering, hey, your team just won 14 games last season with Sam Darnold. Your team wanted to keep Sam Darnold in the building, or at least explored and talked about that option. And there's a little bit of rumblings. I haven't seen really credible things that Aaron Rodgers was even on a discussion about him potentially going to Minnesota because they wasn't too sure about JJ McCarthy. So there's definitely gonna be some pressure on him to get it done for sure. But
Yep.
hey, now we move on into the wide receiver, running back, and tight end duos that ESPN put out. Steve-O, the Eagles getting a lot of love. They start this thing out number 1, best wide receiver, running back, tight end. How could you argue with that? Then
Yeah.
you go to Detroit, Cincinnati at 3, San Francisco at 4, Los Angeles Rams at 5, Minnesota Vikings at 6, Tampa Bay at 7, Baltimore at 8, Falcons at 9, Steve-O, with the Miami Dolphins at 10. How you feeling about that top 10 right there?
I mean, it ain't like super crazy. It's like fucking Scrabble. You just got to put the shit together because it's a lot of things that'll get it. So like, I feel like for the 49ers is that was a little bit of a respect thing because uh uh George is still one of the best, if not top 2 tight end in the league. And when McCaffrey's healthy, he's top 3 running back in the league. So I think they went off if they healthy and they're playing, they are a top 5 duo. Now, repeat 3 through 5 again.
You got the Bengals. Who is their tight end? Mike
Who's their
McGlinchey.
running back?
Stop playing with us. Who
Who's their
is
running?
their running back? Stop playing with us. Chase Brown is the running
Hell
back.
no. That's what I was sitting there like, no. Out. Next. Who next to the out? You're not even in the
4,
discussion.
the
Out.
Niners. 5, the Rams, which is it kind of makes sense
Understandable.
because you got Puka.
And then
And then,
they just got somebody.
yeah, the running
Buddy from
back.
the Steelers. Najee Harris. They just got Najee.
Yeah, and then they already had Kyron
And they
Williams.
and they
We understand
drafted
that.
the running back. They
Yeah.
drafted North Carolina buddy. Hampton.
No, that was the Chargers.
That was Chargers. Okay.
Yeah. So then we got the Minnesota Vikings at 6, the Tampa Bay Bucks at 7, Baltimore at 8, 9 the Falcons, and 10 the
Baltimore
Dolphins.
need to be higher.
I agree.
Baltimore needs to be top 5.
I agree, bro.
Yeah.
Because that wide receiver group.
So y'all gonna tell me that one drop pass? Y'all gonna put them all the way back there? Come on, bro.
Hey, they said that one drop pass from Mark Andrews is. They said, yeah, that was a.
But you still
gut
got
blow.
King Henry. You can, based off of what King Henry did last year, just and still, regardless of the drop, you can't put him that low.
Yeah, that's why I ain't gonna lie to you.
You gonna put the Bengals over there?
That's what I'm saying. Cause I'm looking at the who you want to pick with the Ravens. Mike McGlinchey, which he's decent. I think he's solid. I'm gonna give him solid. But Mark
Chase
Andrews or give me Likely.
Bro, I forgot about Likely too.
Yes, bro, be balling. He ain't dropped the damn pass. Show some love. That's all we saying. Thanks. And then like for the Minnesota Vikings, bro, you can argue, hey, you got the best wide receiver in the game. I get the running back. Issue because you know
I like Aaron Jones.
That's what I'm saying. I think he a good running back.
I think what it was, if I'm not mistaken, Aaron he got hurt up and down through the season. So I think that's what they charged it to. And what's their tight end? What's his name with the mullet? He was cool.
TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, TJ, he was cool. He ain't had like no crazy season. You know what? I didn't hear. Did I hear Detroit?
Explanation, bro. They crazy with this explanation right here.
For the Vikings?
Yes, they talking about some oh yeah, they talking about Jordan Addison. Average 1.8 yards per route run in his second season, but there's a distinct possibility the 23-year-old will be suspended for part of the 2025 season after he's tried on DUI charges. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
This wide receiver duos or tight end duos?
Is the whole
it's all whole
position
thing.
Groups on offense, bro.
So you so basically you put the motherfucker in jail already.
Oh well. They say, yeah, you gonna be suspended.
He gonna be suspended.
Yeah, we know you gonna be suspended once we hit a final verdict on your case, big dog. Just sit there and wait.
Did I not hear Detroit in this list?
You heard them number 2.
Okay, that's okay.
They number 2, and I can't argue with it.
I can't argue with that. That's why I was like,
Amon-Ra, and then you got 2 crazy running backs.
And you got J-Mo.
Yeah, he nice. So I can't argue with
what's 8, 9, and 10?
You got Baltimore at 8.
Yeah, you
Falcons at 9. And 10 the Miami Dolphins. Now the Miami Dolphins, they just picked up Wallace, but I'm still like, what?
And he ain't played in what, a year?
Yeah.
So that don't, no. And then how they gonna put Atlanta? They doing that because they don't know if Buddy gonna still be there, is it? Because they don't know if Kyle Pitts gonna still be there.
Probably. But that's the thing though, because even if he is still there, Kyle Pitts still got a lot to prove, bro. For his career thus far.
No, but Drake London, I think that's why they made it, because Drake London did have a step up. Bijan is nice. They got a couple of, and then Mooney. So I can see them at 9.
But bro, like Kyle Pitts has been underwhelming like a motherfucker throughout his career for all things considered on
I
what he could
get
have
you.
been brought to the game.
I get you. But that's why I said Drake London and I'm gonna say Drake and Darnell and Bijan is the main reason though. Because Drake had his probably his best year last year. Darnell had one of his best
He
years,
did.
and then Bijan had a solid year as well.
I think that's fair, bro. I think that's fair when you talk about all them. What do you think about the Arizona Cardinals being 15 though? Do you think that's too low?
They should have been. They was knocking on the door with 10 with me.
Yeah, because that's like it's like okay, Marvin Harrison Jr. probably did not have the season that a lot of people were expecting to have. But Trey McBride, you can
I like
argue
it. I like him.
top five tight end for sure. Then
And
James Conner ain't no scrub,
Mr. Consistent and running back.
bro.
That's Mr.
Every
Consistent.
place he's been.
He's very consistent. He's not a game breaker, even though he will have a game or two like that where he just fucks the running game up. But you gotta put respect on James. You gotta put respect on that. You gotta put respect on that. I'm sorry. Like they got some they especially the way they being coached over there, they balling over there for the most part.
Yeah. So, but I think the list pretty much damn fair because the Houston
The
Texans
only
did
thing just
14.
didn't make sense was fucking Cincinnati. They shouldn't be on this list at all.
They should be
I don't
back.
care.
They did all
You
32 teams.
you're not finna you're not finna well not on I'm talking about the top 10 list. They
Oh,
shouldn't be
okay,
in,
okay.
I'm not finna give you the top 10 list based on 2 wide receivers. I'm not.
That's what they did to the people in Miami. I think A-Chain got some game, but Tyreek Hill and Waddle
And Waddle was hurt all last year.
and Tyreek Hill
Tyreek
he was
Tyreek
hey, look, I don't like to talk about a man situation, but y'all know what I'm talking about when I say come on, twin. Come on, twin. Hey, they trying to take you away, put you in a car. You talking about some come on, twin. This ain't your motherfucking twin.
this ain't your motherfucker. They don't know what that mean, nigga. He thought he was talking to bro. He thought maybe if they was your color, that would have worked. Nigga. You could talk to a whole white cop. Come on, twin.
Bro, crazy work. Like it was just crazy. It was like, what?
And then the motherfucker was just talking subliminally talking about he was out this bitch, and they said you ain't gonna do it. All right.
And he did the 2 fingers because he said it twice.
And then they said your ass ain't going nowhere. I guess I'll be playing here.
Yeah, you will be playing here with Darren Waller.
Bro, you ever seen that movie, that TV show with The Rock when he was an agent? He were bad. The Rock. What was the name of that shit? He was an agent. He was a football agent. It was on Netflix. You gotta watch that shit. But bro, it's a guy that's he was a wide receiver, Ricky Jarrett. Tyreek Hill is literally Ricky Jarrett in that story.
That's crazy. That is crazy. But hey, that top 10 list, man, is interesting. So y'all let us know how y'all feeling about it. Again, we got the Eagles at 1, Detroit at 2, Cincy at 3, Niners at 4, with the Rams at 5, Vikings 6, Tampa Bay at 7. Hey, before I just got one question. How crazy is Emeka Egbuka about to be for this offense? Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, you finna put him in a slot? Oh my God.
Hey, I ain't been thinking about them till now till you said something, but hey, Baker finna have a field show, especially for majority of this season, because when it comes to talent, maybe one team can fuck with them a little bit. Everybody else is food in their division. So, hey, I expect to see them in the playoffs.
Facts. They didn't won a division last 4 years, Steve-O.
Yep.
Make it 5 for me.
5 in a row.
And your man's Bucky Irving. He showed some last
Hey,
season.
you know, I just found out like a year or like right before he got drafted, the motherfucker from Illinois. Didn't you know that?
Crazy work. Didn't know that either.
He from Illinois. I think he from Thornton. Like he went to Thornton or something like that.
For sure. But Steve-O, before we get up out of here, man, do you feel like the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade that happened moves the needle for the Pittsburgh Steelers? And what is your whole thoughts on that?
First of all, you still got on your best player on the whole franchise still seeking the deal, correct? And TJ Watt.
Yep.
He's still seeking the deal. So you gonna go out there and find another defensive move piece for what? When first of all, that ain't even your problem. Defense is not your problem. Defense hasn't been your problem. Offense been your problem. You need weapons, especially when the quarterback you just brought in is geriatric, fucking 40, and finna just told the whole national media that he finna play here one more year. Just for 1 year. You know what that mean? You fucking Steel City dumbasses. That mean y'all gotta try to win the goddamn chip this year. And I'm sorry, I don't think adding more defense to an already pretty good defense is gonna make a move the needle for y'all. Y'all need some fucking weapons for this old motherfucker to stay alive and throw to. But no, you wanted to go get younger for the defense. We know you can go. We know you can go draft defense. We know you can sign defense. You can't get the offense right, and now you just continue to look stupid. At the end of the day, it's not a bad move. Minkah Fitzpatrick is a fine player, a very fine player, but that's not what you needed. It's a good move, but it's not the move that you needed.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey is a Jalen Ramsey too is like I still think he got game, but he a loose screw. And you know Mike Tomlin is a player's coach. And a lot of times when his loose screws, them bitches fall out of socket.
And completely out of socket. And those sockets ain't never the same no more.
Bro, I was just saying on the other day, like, how great could have Antonio Brown been if he would have just continued to play? He was on a Hall of Fame track.
Yep.
And he took off his shirt and said,
"You know how he's so cold? The motherfucker didn't play for years. Went to fucking Tampa Bay, but just in that bitch like nothing happened.
It was
touchdown,
crazy.
touchdown in Super Bowl.
He was
he was a Hall of Famer, literally,
bro. It's crazy.
And he would have had one of the greatest stories. What, a 6-7 round pick
out of Michigan.
Out of Central Michigan. You're undersized,
and he was cooking. Hey, the greatest highlight he got is when he was on that kick return. He jumped the kick.
Bro, he fucking Spartan kicked the shit out there. I was like, every time I watched that video, they was like, bro, fuck was you thinking? Shit. I don't know. Now your ass probably finna go to jail.
On the real. Crazy work. But I'm looking at them Pittsburgh Steelers, bro. They offensive weapons, I don't think are necessarily bad. They just don't move nobody. Like, I get DK Metcalf, you know what I'm saying? Okay, cool, fine and dandy, but he does not, in my opinion, operate well in the middle of the field in short routes. Okay, you got Calvin Austin, speedster. Okay, fine, solid. Robert Woods. We talk about geriatrics.
Ain't that mother like 33, 34?
Bro, he up there. Damn near up there with Aaron Rodgers, I believe. Maybe still solid, but now how much pressure y'all gonna put on my mans about how much pressure y'all gonna put on my mans out of Michigan and Roman Wilson? It's gonna be a lot of expectations for that young kid being able to operate out of the slot.
This motherfucker looks stressed out. God damn. Have you seen goddamn Robert Woods recently?
Not in a minute.
This motherfucker look a step away from Quinn. Robert Quinn we had. Damn.
That's crazy.
He stressed the fuck out.
But hey, man. That is it from us today, y'all. Steve-O, you got anything left, bro?
PFF do better. How long y'all been out? Y'all done been out too long. Y'all be coming out with some absurd shit sometimes. Like I said, like I get it. That chasing them, they nice. But you finna make them top 5 based off of 2 wide receivers? While there's everybody else they got wide receiver, tight end. Hell, you skipped out over two people that had 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a decent backup tight end, and 2 running backs.
Crazy work.
Got to do better, PFF.
Absolutely. But hey, man, that is it from us today, y'all. We appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode. Before y'all get up out of here, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Again, we are here at least 3 times out the week. So make sure y'all hit that notification bell and stay locked into the latest NFL news and updates. We appreciate y'all over here. Make sure y'all continue to love football, and y'all already know we're going to catch y'all on the next one for sure. Peace out, y'all.